of the Lakers currently. And I guess there was a video of Magic. Is that what we're calling that? Is that a video?
It was not what we typically associate with videos.
Yeah, I mean, singing Happy Birthday to Magic Johnson. It was a grain. I'm
still trying to confirm if it was Magic on the yacht.
I can't even, I don't know what kind of camera that was. It was that old school VHS.
What was that one where you
camcorder?
had to put your head underneath the black cape and hold the thing up in the air?
I
Like in the 1800s.
I mean, a Viewmaster was better than what was better than this video we've seen from Magic. And so I guess Lonzo Ball
great sense of humor for Lonzo.
Yeah, and I guess you must be on good terms with your general manager if you're able to joke with and say, I can buy you a new phone. Please.
Get an HD phone in that. Okay, let's talk about the Lonzo piece of this.
Yes.
Because Lonzo is coming off of a nice season.
Yes.
He's also coming off of a season that, by the standards that were put out before the season, was less than. I don't want to say it was bad, but it was less than. Hey, we're going to hang your number up there. Hey, don't break all my records. Hey, this is going to be the guy. And it wasn't that. He was very, very good. Just by the straight numbers at 10, 7, and 7, that's really, really solid. But he missed a ton of time.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says, the fact that his old man is as obnoxious as he is there always going to be?
He's been quiet lately, but yeah.
Because we finally stopped paying attention. But Magic is probably like, I don't need to hear from him anymore. And, oh, by the way, I got my guy now. I got LeBron. I don't know if I want to be yanking on Magic's cape right now.
I think he's got his dad in check a little bit to a point where there was legitimate, I think, fear that Lonzo Ball was going to be traded. I mean,
certainly felt like that for
there
a
was
minute.
fear.
Yeah.
And I think you saw LeVar was in fear as he kind of started backtracking a little bit. I mean, my son could play anywhere. You know what I mean? And Lonzo felt that fear. I think everybody's walking around on eggshells because when you bring in LeBron James, but you're able to also secure possibly another superstar this year and wouldn't have to wait until the year after, that was a strong possibility. Now, they get another year. You know, Lonzo gets another year to prove everything. And I was thinking about this, Travis, and hopefully I'm not going off track, but what if Magic would have never said all of that about Lonzo?
It's a game changer. We talked about that in the Laker pre and post a lot.
Like, what if he never said, like, Raptors, and the Raptors and the, the multiple All-Stars, all that Laker legend, this and that. If he just say, everybody, we want to introduce, this is Lonzo Ball. I'll let his play do the speaking, but I'll tell you this, we are happy that we got a guy who not only we feel fits our system, fits our scheme, but where we want the Lakers to go in the future.
Yeah,
that's all you got to say.
Exactly. I think that, look, let's be fair. And while this is a criticism of Magic, I think this was Magic's first time doing this, running a team. And Magic as hype man, which, by the way, he's very, very good at, is you don't want to be a hype man in that role. You want to be a lot more circumspect. You want to be a lot more reserved. You need to undersell and overdeliver in that role. And you're right. Look, Lonzo Ball was coming to the Lakers. He played here locally, both in high school and in college. His dad is more than capable of generating hysteria without having anybody inside the organization add to it. I think Magic learned that, okay, that probably wasn't the best way to go about this, especially with a young player, especially with a guy that had some fundamental flaws in his game, namely his offensive game. And had he told me, he said, look, we think we got a great player. We think he's going to be a good player in this league for a very long time. We can't wait to get him in the building. We can't wait to get started. There you go. Well, we're off and running, because then when he goes 10, 7, and 7, we're like, there it is. We're on our way, as opposed to naming the Raptors, restore the Laker glory, we're back. It's like, well, okay, that means that you're back with Kobe and Power, Kobe and Shaq, or Magic and Kareem. It's going to take a minute. So, yeah, I think he learned this. And now, you don't even have to do it. You don't even have to sell it. That I would argue, coming into this season, LeBron is number one, as far as where the attention is going to go this season, and just the horsepower that's going to be drawn to these things. LeBron's going to get the vast majority of it. Then beyond that, I think it goes to Brandon Ingram. I think it goes to Kyle Kuzma. and then it probably goes to Lonzo Ball.
So it's going to drown out Lonzo.
I just don't think I don't think it drowns him out. I think it just kind of shifted away from him, so he doesn't
Right.
have to deal with all of that. And I think it's going to be incredibly beneficial for him. Instead of having to be the savior, he can be one of the guys that's playing really well. It's a totally different role, and one that I think he's going to thrive in.
So he went from possibly being parallels of Shaq and Kobe and Irvin and all of that to now being like a James Worthy or like a Michael Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Like, where does he go from now? Because the expectation was for him to be up here.
Yes.
You
And
bring
that
in
was
LeBron James, then all of a sudden that elevator went down a couple notches.
What you want to do is we're going to see what he is. I'm not going to say that he's going to break my records or he's going to be James Worthy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to see what he is. I'm going to wait to see what he does really well. I'm going to wait to see what maybe he doesn't do well. We're going to try to minimize those things that he does less well. He's got to be. No, he doesn't.
So I'm saying, is he Byron Scott now? Is he?
Can't shoot. No, he's not Byron.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but is he? Well, Derek Fisher can shoot too. So he's like, don't you ready? Think about certain
You know
shots.
who he is?
Who is he?
He's Rajon Rondo. The problem is that they have a Rajon Rondo, the Rajon Rondo. What he is he can be. You go back to when Rondo was a young player in Boston.
Correct.
And when Rondo's role to facilitate for Kevin Garnett, to facilitate for Paul Pierce, and to facilitate for Ray Allen. That he was the fourth guy on that team. A very, very important piece. Incredibly important. But when you're started ripping up, what were they called? They're called the Big Three. They weren't. They were called the Big Three. And oh yeah, Rondo's an important piece of it. He can be Rajon Rondo here. Now, you don't have Pierce and Allen. You only have KG and that being LeBron.
Right.
But Kuzma and Ingram are going to feel that he's going to be Rajon Rondo, both in game and a different temperament, but the skill set he brings is very Rondo-ish.
Yeah, I think still though he brings the element of his game that has to obviously be better next year. It has to be his jump shot, which we can all say that because there's still no fear in letting him shoot. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead. And like you mentioned, that's the same thing with Rondo. When guys used to fluff off of Rondo, they still do it. Yeah,
Still do.
but he's still able to still go out and get work, though.
The difference, though, is Rondo can get to the bucket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where that competition in training camp, in Lakers training camp, between Rondo and
We're talking about LeBron and the level of professionalism he's going to bring and kind of set the tone for everybody.
Yeah.
Lonzo better be ready to deal with Rondo every day at practice. Rondo's going to be there, and he's going to look. Rajon Rondo is a serious man.
These are still pups, by the way.
Yes.
They have not arrived for people to think that, oh man, Kuz and Ball, man, they have not arrived yet.
No, not yet.
I mean, I remember going to my third, fourth year, I still had players saying, you ain't had enough hours yet. You ain't got enough hours yet. You still can't sit at the big boy table. You still throwing at the look. I'm like, I'm a third year starter. What you mean?
Look at me.
And over in the little boys table.
All right, Dr. Clapper is going to join us next. We'll get the latest on Kenley Jansen, some other Dodger injuries, because there are plenty of Dodgers that are banged up right now. We'll do that next with Dr. Clapper. That's coming up afternoons on ESPN LA. And we just finished a weekend, and before you know it, another one's going to be here, which means you're going to have to do some yard work along the way as well. And you don't want to, right? Maybe you really want to go out and cut the grass. You really want to go out and pull the weeds, plant the flowers, trim the bushes. You don't. But help is here. It's called the Tackle app, T-A-K-L. Put it on your phone right now, and what they're going to do, you can also go online, tackle.com, T-A-K-L.com, and once you're there, you're going to get a list of background check providers who can do everything in your yard, from mowing your grass, to pulling weeds, to trimming shrubs, to planting flowers. They can even trim your trees. You can have somebody there fast. You wake up on Saturday morning thinking, you know what, I'm going to do it. And you say, no, I'm not. You can go on the Tackle app, and they're going to have a lawn and garden provider at your door the very same day, or you can choose to set it up a little bit in advance and get it done when you want to do it. Your yard is going to look amazing after you have tackled it. I've used Tackle a couple of times in my house. The guys showed up exactly when they said they would. They did a great job.